Hello and welcome to The Inquisitive Crafter. I'm Katrina Stewart of Crafty Boutique, and I'm so pleased to welcome you to this new space. I thought I'd take a moment to introduce ourselves and to let you know what you can expect here. Crafty was started by my mom Judy and I, hence the Jacks in our name, Judy and Katrina. We started it as a way to share our love of creating with the world. Initially, we started out by knitting and designing and selling newborn photography props. This tied in really well with my career as a professional photographer at the time. Fast forward a few years and I fell down the rabbit hole of spinning. Even though I'd been knitting most of my life, I had no idea what I was getting into when I learned how to spin. I started learning about sheep breeds and hair breeds and what all of those properties meant to my finished yarn and what in turn that would mean to my knitting or crocheting projects. This deep dive eventually led me to wanting to buy a carder. I loved spinning gradients, and the easiest way to create them was on my carder. And so we decided to completely change the course of our business. We bought the carder, and that fall we did our first fiber festival. We attended Knit City, and I shared a booth with a friend. I had about 60 bats with me, and it was so much fun to share this passion with people who got it. And I was absolutely hooked. And so from there, while we'd started our bats with commercially dyed fiber, I learned how to dye the fiber. So all our bats now are made with hand-dyed fiber. So I learned how to dye that fiber, and then I learned how to hand paint braids, and then I learned how to dye yarn. We decided that we would bring in yarns based on the sheep breeds that I loved to spin. So you won't find a lot of superwash merino nylons in our offerings. It's all sorts of different sheep breeds who have different properties and create garments that are just amazing. And from there, I eventually started teaching. I've taught classes locally in different yarn shops. I've also taught for the School of Sweet Georgia. From there, I decided that I wanted to expand a little bit further, which is what the Inquisitive Crafter is all about. I want to create a safe space for you where you can come and learn different tips, tricks, techniques, learn about tools, learn about sheep breeds, learn about all of the things that I love about the fiber arts. We will be talking about knitting and spinning and crocheting and maybe even some dyeing and some weaving. We'll see where it goes. From here, I invite you to send your questions to ask@craftyjacks.ca, and we will do our best to answer them in a future episode. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy what you were able to learn here, and I am so delighted that you're here. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.